Now concerning what you write to me, it is ideal for a man not to be touching a woman. Yet, because of prostitutions, let each man have a wife for himself, and each woman have her own husband. Let the husband render to the wife her due, yet likewise the wife also to the husband. The wife has not the jurisdiction of her own body, but the husband. Yet likewise the husband also has not the jurisdiction of his own body, but the wife. Do not deprive one another, except some time it should be by agreement for a period, that you should have leisure for prayer, and you may be the same again, lest Satan may be trying you because of your incontinence. Now this I am saying as a concession, not as an injunction. For I want all men to be as I myself also, but each has his own gracious gift from God, one indeed thus, yet one thus. Now I am saying to the unmarried and the widows, that it is ideal for them if ever they should be remaining even as I. Yet if they are not controlling themselves, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to be on fire. Now to the married I am charging, not I, but the Lord. A wife is not to be separated from her husband, yet if she should be separated also, let her remain unmarried or be conciliated to her husband, and a husband is not to leave his wife. Now to the rest am I speaking, not the Lord. If any brother has an unbelieving wife, and she approves of making a home with him, let him not leave her. And a wife who has an unbelieving husband, and he approves of making a home with her, let her not leave her husband. For the unbelieving husband is hallowed by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is hallowed by the brother. Else, consequently, your children are unclean, yet now they are holy. Yet if the unbeliever is separating, let him separate. A brother or a sister is not enslaved in such a case. Now God has called us in peace. For of what you are aware, O wife, will you be saving your husband? Or of what are you aware, O husband? Will you be saving your wife? Except as the Lord parts it to each? Each as God has called him, thus let him be walking, and thus am I prescribing in all the ecclesias. Was anyone called, having been circumcised? Let him not be decircumcised. Is anyone called in uncircumcision? Let him not circumcise. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the precepts of God. Each one in the calling in which he was called, in this let him be remaining. Were you called a slave? Let it not be causing you care, but if you are able to become free also, use it rather. For in the Lord, he who is being called a slave is the Lord's freedman. Likewise, he who is being called, being free, is a slave of Christ. With a price are you bought. Do not become the slaves of men. Each one in what he was called, brethren, in this let him remain with God. Now concerning the celibates, or virgins, I have no injunction of the Lord, yet an opinion am I giving, as one who has enjoyed mercy by the Lord, to be faithful. I am inferring, then, this ideal to be inherent, because of the present necessity, for it is ideal for humanity to be thus. You are bound to a wife? Do not seek to be loosed. You have been loosed from a wife? Do not seek a wife. Yet if you ever should be marrying also, you did not sin. And if the virgin should be marrying, she did not sin. Yet affliction of the flesh, affliction in the flesh, will such be having. Yet I am sparing you. Now this I am averring, brethren, the era is limited, that furthermore those also having wives may be as not having them, and those lamenting as not lamenting, and those rejoicing as not rejoicing, and those buying as not retaining, and those using this world as not using it up. For the fashion of this world is passing by. Now I want you to be without worry. The unmarried one is solicitous about the things of the Lord, how he should be pleasing the Lord. Yet he who marries is solicitous about the things of the world, how he should be pleasing his wife, and is parted. The unmarried woman as well as the virgin. The unmarried one is solicitous about the things of the Lord, that she may be holy in body as well as in breath. Yet she who marries is solicitous about the things of the world, how she should be pleasing her husband. Now this I am saying for your own expedience, not that I should be casting a noose over you, but for that which is respectable and assiduous, to be undistractedly before the Lord, or for the Lord. Now, if anyone is inferring it to be indecent for his virgin, if she should be over her meridian, and thus it ought to occur, what he will, let him do. He is not sinning, let them marry. Yet he who stands settled in his heart, having no necessity, yet has authority as to his own will, and has decided this in his own heart, to be keeping his virgin, ideally will be doing, so that he also who is taking his virgin in marriage, ideally will be doing, yet he who is not taking out in marriage will be doing better. A wife is bound by law for whatever time her husband is living. Yet if the husband should be reposing, she is free to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. Yet happier is she, if ever she should be remaining thus, according to my opinion. Now I presume that I also have God's wind. Now concerning the idol sacrifices, we are aware that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, yet love builds up. If anyone is presuming to know anything, he knew not as yet according as he must know. Now if anyone is loving God, this one is known by him. Then, concerning the feeding on the idol sacrifices, we are aware that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is no other God except one. For even if so be that there are those being termed gods, whether in heaven or on earth, even as there are many gods and many lords, nevertheless for us there is one God, the Father, out of whom all is, and we for him, and one Lord, Yeshua the Anointed One, through whom all is, and we through him. But not in all is there this knowledge. Now some, used hitherto to the idol, are eating of it as an idol sacrifice, and their conscience, being weak, is being polluted. Now food will not give us a standing with God, neither if we should not be eating are we in want, nor if we should be eating are we cloyed. Now beware lest somehow this right of yours may become a stumbling block to the weak. For if anyone should be seeing you who has knowledge, lying down in an idol's shrine, will not the conscience of he who is weak be inured to the eating of the idol sacrifice? For the weak one is perishing also by your knowledge. the brother, because of whom Christ died. Now in thus sinning against brethren, and beating their weak conscience, you are sinning against Christ. Therefore, if food is snaring my brother, I may under no circumstances be eating meat for the aeon, lest I should be snaring my brother. Am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen Yeshua our Lord? Are you not my work in the Lord? If to others I am not an apostle, nevertheless I surely am to you. For you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. My defense to those examining me is this: have we no right at all to eat and drink? Have we no right at all to be leading about a sister as a wife, even as the rest of the apostles and the brothers of our Lord and Cephas? Or have only I and Barnabas no right not to be working? Who is worrying at any time supplying his own rations? Who is planting a vineyard and not eating of its fruit? Or who is tending a flock and not eating of the milk of the flock? Not according to man am I speaking these things. Or is the law not also saying these things? For in the law of Moshe it is written, You shall not muzzle the threshing ox. Not for oxen is the care of God. Or is he undoubtedly saying it because of us? Because of us. For it was written that the plower ought to be plowing in expectation, and the thresher to partake of his expectation. If, in expectation, we sow the of breath in you, is it a great thing if we shall reap of your fleshly things? If others are partaking of this right from you, are not rather we? Nevertheless, we do not use this right, but we are foregoing all, lest we may be giving any hindrance to the evangel of Christ. Are you not aware that the workers at the sacred things are eating of the things of the sanctuary? Those settling beside the altar have their portion with the altar. Thus the Lord also prescribes that those who are announcing the evangel are to be living of the evangel. Yet I do not use any of these things. Now I do not write these things that it may be becoming thus with me, for it is my ideal rather to be dying than that anyone shall be making my boast void. For if I should be bringing the evangel, it is not for me to boast in, for necessity is lying upon me. For it were woe to me if I should not be bringing the evangel. For if I am engaging in this voluntarily, I have wages. Yet if involuntary, I have been entrusted with an administration. What then is my wage? That, in bringing the evangel, I should be placing the evangel without expense, so as not to use up my authority in the evangel. For being free of all, I enslave myself to all, that I should be gaining the more. And I became to the Jews as a Jew, that I should be gaining Jews. To those under law as under law, not being myself under law, that I should be gaining those under law. To those without law as without law, not being without God's law, but legally Christ's, that I should be gaining those without law. I became as weak to the weak, that I should be gaining the weak. To all have I become all, that I should be undoubtedly saving some. Now all am I doing because of the evangel, that I may be becoming a joint participant of it. Are you not aware that those racing in a stadium are, indeed, all racing, yet one is obtaining the prize? Thus be racing, that you may be grasping it. Now every contender is controlling himself in all things. They, indeed, then, that they may be obtaining a corruptible wreath, yet we an incorruptible. Now then, thus am I racing, not as dubious. Thus am I boxing, not as punching the air, but I am belaboring my body and leading it into slavery, lest somehow, when heralding to others, I myself may become disqualified. 1 Corinthians chapters 7, 8, and 9.